Hey, Previews World. Oh, sorry. Hey, Previews World. Hey, it's live. Whatever. Hey, Previews World. Troy Jeffrey Allen here. We're at the ComicWow studios. This is actually the Previews World Weekly set, and we're doing a little preamble for the actual Previews World Weekly show. I'm hanging out with Mr. Ken Lashley.
Ooh.
Look at that. Ken, of course, is, well, he's a pretty renowned artist at this point.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Thank you for that. Appreciate that.
I had the pleasure sitting next to you during Baltimore Comic Con this weekend.
Yep.
And thanks for coming over and sitting down with us and doing a sketch.
Yeah, you know, I love traveling, love Baltimore. I'm not really a big seafood guy, but the crab cakes are my favorite, so yeah. I love the city. It's awesome.
You know, it's sacrilege for me to say this because I'm from this area, but I'm not a big seafood guy either, so it's all right.
You gotta move.
I know, right? But okay, so Ken, first off, let's talk a little bit because we're gonna talk about your career.
Sure.
We're gonna talk about some of your inspirations.
Sure.
And just about you in general, the things that you're doing, the things you have coming up, the things you've done.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think a lot of people should know this off the bat that if you're looking for Ken's work, he was the artist on X-Men Gold. And actually this week, you have the cover to Magic the Gathering Chandra.
I did not know that, but I'm glad it's out. I don't really know the schedule of all the stuff you work on.
Yeah, how far ahead do you work on this?
Oh, that's months ago, sometimes weeks, sometimes days, depending on who calls you and how it works. But those kind of things, it was fun to work with IDW on that, if that's what we're saying when we're talking about. Yeah. It's just really cool to get a chance to work on these characters. I'm not really known for fantasy, and I'm more of a superhero guy, but an editor friend of mine who works there said, "Oh, I'd be perfect for this kind of thing." So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Actually, if I could fanboy for a second.
Sure.
My favorite thing that you've ever done is actually the Suri storyline, The Deadliest of Species.
Oh, really? Yeah.
The Black Panther. That story is just so much fun, and just you draw those undead characters so great. They just have so much movement, and just the whole story is just energetic.
I appreciate that, man. It's kind of one of those things where you don't get a chance to draw your childhood hero very often. So I was working at DC at the time, and I was working on a book called Cyborg, and I was doing a miniseries, and I got a chance to work on Black Panther. Yeah. So I was like, wow, I got to do this. So got a chance to work with Reggie Hudlin, became a lifelong friend. That's where we met working on that project. But it was truly one of those things where getting a chance to draw the book that you bought. My mom bought me my first book. It was The Black Panther, and I don't think she read it before she gave it to me because it was about Black Panther fighting the KKK. So I don't think she really read it, but it became a love affair with comic books, and so I get a chance to hey Ken, you want to draw Black Panther? I was like, are you kidding me? 100%. So it was amazing.
Now, what are you drawing here right now? I think it looks like, is it Venom or Carnage? Which one is it?
Oh, well, I guess we'll find out as I go through, but I'm probably going to do a Venom as I go through here. I do this thing, white, gray washes. So I just draw it straight to marker, and I just draw it, really light, and then as I go over it again and again, I'm adding it more. So essentially, I started, a few seconds ago, and I'm halfway done, I would say. Oh, this gray part is already done. You can pretty much see, if you took a better shot, you can see where I'm going to go with it. And then what I'll do is I'll do another gray tone, probably a little bit darker, and then I'll start working in some of the bigger shapes and keep going. So
great. And you're known for being lightning fast, so
I'm okay. I guess you could say that. I have my moments.
So actually, I want to point out, we're actually going to give this away when we're done with it. So make sure that you share this video, and you will be instantly eligible to win this amazing Spider-Man 800 cover by Ken Lashley.
Oh, that's awesome.
So let's start off with what inspired you to become a comic book artist? You talked a little bit about that Black Panther comic, but was there any artistic inklings before that, or was that the thing that kind of did that introduce you to comics, and then from there you started to find inspiration from other artists?
I mean, I really, I just loved anything to do with the drawing in general. So I was definitely a comic book head from the get-go. And I did old school. There was no comic book stores when I was a kid. Well, not in my area anyway. So I bought all my comic book stores from the variety store, the old school way, from the spinner rack.
Oh yeah.
And you didn't worry about bags and boards and stuff. You just kind of enjoyed it. Even now going to comic book stores is an amazing experience. Do you know what I mean? And I encourage everyone to just go to the comic book store and get that experience. I mean, buying them on Amazon and these places, that's great. I mean, if you want to do that kind of stuff, fine. However, maybe you don't have access to one, but going to a comic book store and going to a brick and mortar place and talking to the person knowledgeable can help you. That's the backbone of this business. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it. And when I got into college, there was a store downtown from around the corner from the school which is probably where they made most of their money because all their art
bet.
students going in there. And that's where I really fell in love and started buying stuff. So it's truly an amazing thing to go to a comic book store and see the books that you love, and also learn about new things that you didn't know even existed, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sorry.
It's all good.
This thing went off for a second.
What's up?
But no, that's awesome. Like like we talked a little bit earlier about community and like the importance of like maintaining that. And you don't quite get the same type of community, I think, community aspect from like talking about comics on Twitter or Facebook. When you walk into a comic shop, that really is like, you're getting the full culture or comic culture experience, because that's really where it grew up from.
It's comic church, man.
It's comic church. I love that. So like, when did you realize that you wanted to be an artist? Like,
I always wanted to be an artist. Yeah. I mean, I've always wanted. I thought that'd be a great job, a fun job to do. I didn't know much about how to make money doing it. You just sort of just join, go and do it. So I really wanted to just draw comics, and I did them a lot on my own. And then you realize, oh, there's a whole career out there. You could actually make money doing this. Yeah. And so I went from having a love for it to actually doing it. Which is. It's pretty amazing even now. I mean, when I go to a comic book store and I see my name on the shelves, it's still surreal. Yeah. It's still a weird experience because, like when I was drawing X-Men, it's like, wow, I've bought this book and now your name is on it. Yeah. It just seems so weird. It's such a strange.
You join the greats, man. You get to join John Byrne and Chris Claremont, Dave Cockrum.
Sure. Are you trying to make me feel bad? Like, yeah, exactly. But it's an amazing thing to be part of it. And I'm sure there's a business end of it, and sure that part of it, but I'm still a fan, man.
Good. Yeah,
I still go to the store and I say, oh my God, Dennis Cowan just walked in behind me. You know what I mean? Oh, there's Neil Adams is over there, or this guy was over there, and it's pretty amazing to be part of that community.
Yeah, one of the great things of Baltimore that we heard a lot about was just people like emphasizing like the enjoyment of comics, like the fun aspect of it, and like I definitely got a sense of just like you were having a ball at that table and talking to people, and everybody walked away from you with a smile on their face, which is actually great.
Well, it's also, and people in Baltimore are amazing. They brought me some chips, they brought me some stuff I shouldn't be eating, but I enjoyed them, and because I'm in Canada, so we don't have some of the same products as you guys have here.
But you guys have poutine, which is actually pretty cool.
Poutine is dangerous, by the way. It's like, people don't know poutine, it's French fries and cheese curd, and if you don't have cheese curd, it's not poutine. And then you put gravy over top of it.
Right, yeah.
And my daughter she had this ketchup. I just think that's wrong. You just can't face it, poutine.
Did you Americanize it? Is that what that was?
I don't know if it's Americanized, but she likes ketchup, so it worked out. But I mean, it is good with ketchup, don't get me wrong. You just gotta have it first without it, and then see if you like it with, that's how it works.
Right. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about, have you ever been in a position, did you ever get a point in your career where you wanted to stop? Did you ever think to yourself, like, maybe this isn't going to work out? Because I know, like, every creator probably has moments of doubt, but was there ever, like, a moment for you like that?
I've been very fortunate. I've been worked for some, my first job in the business was the Age of Apocalypse. I mean, so I got off to a pretty hot start, and I didn't realize the struggle, as most guys went through. It just by the grace, that I ended up getting a job that big at the beginning. So it changed a lot of, I didn't have that moment where I thought maybe I couldn't do it. I guess, I'm on this big book and it's selling crazy numbers, and, and my first job in the business, so it was, I think the second or third book in was Age of Apocalypse. Oh, wow. So it was really one of those situations where, I was good from the get. So I never had that moment. Very fortunate, I guess.
Let's talk a little bit about Milestone.
Let's talk.
Because that's on the horizon. I won't say when. I've heard some things, but I won't let that cat out of the bag.
Yeah.
But what can you tell us about Milestone and upcoming projects?
It's been talked about for a long time. Yeah. And I was approached a long time, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, from Reggie Hudlin talking about, hey, let's do this, and we're going to do this at some point. And I said, yeah, I would do it. And I was slated to do a different book than I ended up working on. My skills had changed, so I ended up doing something else. But it's on the slate. I'm deep in the book. I've been drawing a lot of things. I've done a lot of pages so far. It's got to be one of the strongest things I've ever done. I'm so proud of the work, and really how I even came to be. How it came to be was I said yes to Reggie, but that was years ago, and then I was working on X-Men Gold, and things were, I was working on X-Men Gold. It was my dream job, and one of the dream jobs. And then I got a phone call from Jim Lee, and he said, hey, we're going to do this.
Just Jim Lee, no big
Yeah,
deal.
you know, and he's saying, you know, let's be part of it. Do you want to? Would you want to be part of it? And I really had to think. I mean, do I give up an opportunity to draw X-Men Gold to do this? And I really said, yeah, I do. And so I made that choice, and I'm glad I did. It was tough because you don't get a chance to draw X-Men very often, but I think it's something that had to be done.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you can't give us a date on like when it's going to happen.
I am not giving you a date. Are you kidding me? That's the last thing I'm going to do, get myself into trouble.
That's okay.
But the first book is well on its way, and it's bigger than anticipated. Let's leave it at. I'll leave it at that.
No, that's awesome.
So, but it's a lot of fun.
Something to look forward to. I actually have a question for you. This one
Shoot.
is from Natasha. She asked, what is your favorite character to draw and why? To draw.
Wow. It depends what day, but I think my favorite character is probably Colossus. And the reason why I like Colossus is because when I was growing up, he was a big guy in the group, which is, I'm a pretty decent sized human being, and he liked to draw, which is so much like what I am as a human being. So I just love that character, you know, and he's a gentle soul, which is, you know, kind of who I am a little bit too. And I just really I resonate with the character, and the visuals are amazing. You know, the visuals are amazing. So that was my favorite character.
Bio-organic metal, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, organic steel.
Organic steel. There you go.
There you go, man.
Actually, let's talk a little bit about X-Men Gold. Like you came onto the project under some interesting circumstances, but you were already slated to be on the project.
Yeah, I mean, I was working on Uncanny X-Men for a while, and then they decided to. They wanted to do X-Men Gold, and they asked there's going to be rotation because the book was bi-weekly, so there was going to be 2 issues a month. So there was 3 artists. I think R.B. Silva was one of the artists. I was one of the artists. But because I had done a book called X-Men Prime that set up the universe, I was going to do the book after that. But then whatever happened, and then they wanted to. The books didn't change. The slate didn't change. They just asked me to do the covers. So that's how it really changed. So people always think that I took over for him, but that's not what happened.
Right.
I just took over the slate that I was already going to do, but I did take over doing the covers, which was awesome for me.
So also, like, let's talk a little bit about away from comics a little bit, because you've worked with Hasbro, you've worked with Lucasfilm.
Yes.
You have like Emmys like under your credit.
I got nominated for Emmy, which means I didn't win one.
Right. Hey,
but it was fun. It was fun to be nominated. I did stuff for Fox Sports, and I got nominated for best motion graphics that year. It was for Hobby Long Tough Guy special.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun to be nominated. They say, and it's true. But it's crazy. I've done some crazy stuff in my life. I've been very fortunate.
How did you get involved with Hasbro?
Hasbro likes to use comic artists for certain things, and I got designs. I did a Batman project, but back when they had the rights to do the Batman stuff, and they really liked my work, and then that started a 15-year relationship. I've done G.I. Joe. I'm even fortunate enough to have a G.I. Joe with my face on it.
Oh, really?
I have
a figure.
Yeah, I have a figure. I'm part of the Dreadnoughts series, and I have beautiful long jerry curls, and my character name is Burnout. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's sad or not, but I petitioned for black ice, you know, Canadian black, but didn't work
I
out.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so, but I definitely went with the character instead. But it was cool. I mean, it's so cool to see it, you know. And every time I see one on Amazon or any toy store, I buy it. And let's be honest, you would too. Yeah, but it was so funny, and it was just great to see it. It's hilarious to see.
That's so funny. I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's fun. Are you kidding me?
So just to remind you guys, like, we're going to be giving away this amazing Spider-Man 800 cover that Ken is drawing right now. Be sure to share. You will be instantly eligible to win. So let's talk a little bit about how you got involved with Lucasfilm.
Oh, okay.
Because that's also another big friend. You're some of my favorite artwork of Star Wars. Features your work.
Well, I've been very fortunate. How it started with Lucasfilm was sort of a Hasbro connection. I was doing the Star Wars Unleashed package art, and I worked for doing different brands, and they really liked the work I was doing, Lucasfilm, and they contacted Hasbro and said, hey, who's this guy doing all the artwork for the Unleashed brand? And that's how I met Troy Elders and the people over at Lucasfilm, and I've worked with them many times on many different projects. And I was actually they used my artwork in San Diego Comic-Con when they actually released the name of the Revenge of the Sith. It was actually I was there, and they said, "Here's the name of the movie. when they showed my artwork, then Revenge of the Sith logo came on, and I was like, it was an amazing experience. And working with those people, I mean, those guys are so good. I mean, people always say, oh, the bigger the companies, maybe the more impersonal it is, but that's not true in some cases. Like working with Hasbro, Lucasfilm, there are people there who are just fans of the stuff. So, you know, when they call you up, they're fans of yours. So they do everything in their power to make you, let you be successful. So it's an amazing opportunity. And working with Lucasfilm was amazing. Come on, bro.
Right, yeah, of course, right.
I got some great freebies from them. I mean, you know, cool stuff.
Cool stuff, right,
Cool
right.
stuff.
I also will fanboy for a second. I definitely had, the only Star Wars toy I owned actually was the Darth Maul from the Unleashed Fit series.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, that
It's
really?
just so badass.
Well, my favorite toy of all time from that is the Boba Fett one that I did. That was my favorite. And I actually was leaving the theater, from seeing Star Wars when they called me and asked me to do that figure. So I was so hyped when I did it.
Oh, yeah.
I was super crazy.
No, those looked amazing. I love those.
But they really weren't figures. They were more like sculptures. They really
Yeah.
weren't, you know?
Yeah, they happen to be plastic, but they really were
Yeah,
like
they-
really finely done.
So true.
Let's talk a little bit about, well, actually, where did the name LEDKILLA come from? Because that's gangster. That's gangster, man.
I have to admit, I can't take credit for that. There was a guy in my studio, and man, you're the killer of lead, man. You're lead killer. And I was like, that's cool. My mom hates the name. So you put kill in your name. That's so terrible. But I get that. But it was like, and then I thought it was cool at the time, and never make a Twitter handle before you really think it through. And then I made it, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm stuck with it.
Right.
But it's worked out pretty good for me. Like as it moves forward, yeah, okay. But there are times I go, this is kind of unprofessional. I'm meeting with, you know, somebody, you know, you meet with these brand holders and you go, oh, what's your name? Pen name? Well, LEDKILLA. You're like, oh, okay. You know, but it works out. I mean, it is what it is, right?
I think I sent you some Q&A questions, yeah, for the Black Panther retrospective I did a few months ago. And like immediately, like I saw your Twitter handle, I was like, I love that.
That's cool,
That
man.
might be a generational thing. I
Yeah,
don't know,
it might
but like,
be,
I
yeah.
loved it. I loved it.
Appreciate it.
So tell me a little bit about Killer Crates then, LEDKILLA.
Well, I do these crates, and you know, I do them for the fans. Really, you know, I make these crates to give back to the community who's given me so much. So they're crazy. They're killer crates. So they're these crates that they're like mystery. They're like super amped up mystery boxes. You know, and I always say this: if you're not drawing on the box, you're not in the game. So this is how it is. You draw on the box. There's a sketch cover in each one. There is a piece of artwork. Now, here's the cool part about the artwork is that inside I put 2 X-Men covers or one of my older covers, maybe a Black Panther cover. And what you do is you have a 1 in, I guess, 5 or 10 chance of getting a $2,000 cover or 15. I mean, like a very expensive, really nice, cool piece of artwork. But everyone gets, you always get a page. Everyone gets a page, regardless. Some have 2 pages in it. Some they have T-shirts, they have hats, they have lanyards, they have some have water bottles. It's just a way of giving back to the fans who've given me so much. So a lot of other guys are doing them, but they're kind of doing it for a different reason. I'm doing it because I want to give back to the fans who've given me so much. So, but they're fun. I mean, some of the things I've given away, I've gone, man, I should have probably kept that. You know, but overall, it's a great experience. You know, and that's really what it is for me. You know.
Yeah, I mean, community building. I mean, that seems to be the
Well,
theme of this week.
Well, to me,
conversation.
that's kind of all there really is in this business. You know, it's really about the community. It's about the people who support me and do the things that help me do what I want to do in my life. You know, some guys, it's about money. Fine, will knock themselves out. Maybe it's not about their community, whatever. But I love when a person walks up to me who's wearing one of my T-shirts. You know, they always get a free sketch. So I always say, oh, that's cool, because you don't have to wear that. You know.
Someone just reminded me, actually, it's Inktober. So actually, this is perfect what you're doing
perfect.
right now.
All right.
Actually, so before we go, you talked earlier about a spoiler story.
What spoiler
that
story?
I thought that was pretty amusing about like the follies of working for Hasbro sometimes.
Okay, so Hasbro asked me to come in, and I work with them all the time, so it was very strange for them to actually physically ask me to be there. So I said, okay, I'll come in. This is kind of strange. So I actually go in, and the VPs and other people, and I remember the time frame is 3 months before Black Panther, so it's before Avengers 3.
Right, yeah.
So I'm sitting in the room, I'm sitting with the VP, I'm sitting with some other people, and it's only 5 of us. But so this very, very powerful guy at Hasbro gets out his clicker, we're in his office, he has the TV screen, and he clicks the button, he goes, hey Ken, thanks for coming. Clicks the button and says, yeah, we brought you in for Avengers 3 and 4. I was like, oh, awesome. Clicks the button and goes, yeah, these are the characters that die. And I was like, what?
Oh, no.
What? And he goes, yeah, these are the characters that survive. I go, what? This is before this is before Panther, like, and it's crazy. And I'm just sitting there, and these guys are just like they've seen it before, but I'm new to the mix. So I was like, whoa,
Pump the brakes.
Pump the brakes and go back. And they all start laughing. I go, dude, you can't do that to people. You got to preface that. You can't just start throwing stuff around like that. And it was the craziest 3 days, because so we go to the meeting and show me some concept work, so I start working on some stuff for number 4. And then as I'm seeing it, I'm realizing, during the course of the day, who was not in the deck, right? So I'm like drawing, what happened? And I'm drawing some more. What happened to that guy? Oh, gee. Oh, that guy's there. And then saw some of the stuff for number 4. And then they show me some concept work, and they kind of they tell you what's going on. But even they don't know all the pieces of the puzzle too. But but I found a lot of stuff out. I would love to tell you, but I can't.
Actually, I don't want to know.
You don't want
to know? I'll wait until May. I'm good.
So you say.
So I say.
So you say.
Ken.
All right.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. You can check out Ken's piece. Well, first of all, be sure to share this, because you will be eligible to win and get this gorgeous, the Amazing Spider-Man 800 cover by Ken Lashley. And also, Chandra is out this week. Support your local comic shop.
That's amazing.
Stop at a comic shop and pick up Magic the Gathering Chandra #1 from IDW. Thanks again, Ken, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And catch us next week, Wednesday at 4 p.m. on Previews World Weekly. I'm Troy Jeffrey Allen, and I will see you at the Spinner Rack.